Welcome to quiz number 11. So after the 10th sort of birthday quiz last week, I thought I would spice things up and have some new rounds, shake things up a little bit, try and keep it as interesting as possible. If you like what those changes are, let me know and I'll keep doing them. If you really don't, equally let me know. I'm just here to try and make these as entertaining for you as possible. They are, after all, for you guys who are continually supporting and watching the quiz. I don't know how much longer I can go on doing them. Of course, it all depends on work and how this situation changes from week to week. But while I can make them, I want to make them as entertaining as possible. So do let me know how I'm doing. So be prepared for some new rounds this week. Fingers crossed that you like them all. There'll be definitely some harder things going on to really challenge you, and hopefully a new picture round as well, which hopefully we can do for a few weeks to replace the playbills round, which I thought would maybe get a little bit stale. And also I was running out of shows to Photoshop, so what am I going to do? So anyway, let's stop the rambling and let's move on and begin this quiz with round number 1. Round number 1, which was normally the composer's round, I have now shifted over to the other side of the team and I am now looking for lyricists. I can already hear some of you sighing with disappointment because it is going to be harder, I think, which is a shame because the music is great, but without the lyrics, we don't have a musical. The storytelling is just as important and often gets sort of pushed aside. I'm not going to be looking at book writers. I think it gets a little bit complicated because if it's an adaptation or there's usually multiple writers along the way, so I'm going to try and keep to lyricists on this. Sometimes the lyricists are also the book writers, but I thought it was more straightforward to make this round a lyricists round. And as you've been learning about composers over the last few weeks, hopefully you will learn about some lyricists that you didn't know about as well. So, question number 1 of this shiny new round on lyricists. The show is South Pacific. So, who wrote the lyrics for the songs in South Pacific? Hopefully that's a nice easy one to kick things off if you've been doing the last sort of few quizzes. Number 2. Who wrote the lyrics for Gypsy? So that's number 2, Gypsy. Show number 3, Jesus Christ Superstar. That's number 3, Jesus Christ Superstar. Number 4, Crazy for You. That's number 4, Crazy for You. Who wrote the lyrics for that musical? Number 5, Betty Blue Eyes. Who wrote the lyrics for Betty Blue Eyes? Those of you who are new to the quiz, by the way, just to make it clear, you are allowed to pause if you so wish, if you want some extra time. If you want the challenge, then try and keep up to the speed, and then at the end of the round, pause and go back and fill in the gaps. But some people, obviously say that I move quite fast. So do feel free to pause if you want a little extra time. Number 6, Parade. Who wrote the lyrics for parade. Number 7, Into the Woods. That's Into the Woods for number 7. Eight, Cats. Who wrote the lyrics for Cats? Number 9, Cabaret. So that's Cabaret for number 9. And number 10, Acorn Antiques. So who wrote the incredibly funny lyrics for Acorn Antiques? Well, there you go. There's your first 10 questions. Hopefully you don't all hate me. It's going to be tough adapting your brain for lyricists, I think. But hopefully you did well in that round. And if not, it's just a quiz. Who cares? And we can move on to round number 2. Now I thought I would keep round number 2 the same, as not to put a complete shock to the system. So round 2 again is the lyrics round, following on from our wonderful lyricists, round number 1, on to their wonderful lyrics. So I will give you a lyric, just tell me what show it is from. So number 1, In Midnights in Cups of Coffee. What show is that from? In Midnights in Cups of Coffee. Number 2, You'll Reach Up and You'll Rise Again. What's the show? Number 2, You'll Reach Up and You'll Rise Again. Number 3, I stick with real things, usually facts and figures. What show are those lyrics from? Again, for number 3, I stick with real things, usually facts and figures. Number 4, But the elephant is in the room, the troop is in your face. But the elephant is in the room, the troop is in your face. Lyrics from what musical? It's number 4. Number 5. Those guys are French. These fries are French. So that's number 5. Those guys are French. These fries are French. What show is that lyric from? If you don't know, there's a lot of sort of educated guessing that can be going on, I think, in this round. Number 6. She's dizzy and she's dreamy, her head's up in the foam. What's the show? Number 6. She's dizzy and she's dreamy, her head's up in the foam. Number 7. Picture me wearing the 2-3 like Jordan wore when he dunked them the free throw line. That's a mouthful. I'll try and do better. Number 7. Picture me wearing the 2-3 like Jordan wore when he dunked from the free throw line. In my head, there's only one lyricist who could write lyrics like that. That are quite hard to get your mouth around. What show is it from? Number 8. There's never been a better time to start in life. It ain't too early and it ain't too late. That's number 8. There's never been a better time to start in life. It ain't too early and it ain't too late. What's the show? Number 9. If she says your behaviour is heinous, kick her right in the Coriolanus. This song particularly has the most amazing wordplay. But what show is it from? It's number 9. If she says your behaviour is heinous, kick her right in the Coriolanus. And finally, number 10. She's clever, she's smart, she reads music. She doesn't smoke or drink gin like I do. She's clever, she's smart, she reads music. She doesn't smoke or drink gin like I do. What's the show for number 10? And there are your 10 lyrics for this week. Go back over, fill in the gaps, make some guesses, and then we'll move on to round number 3. Round number 3 is still a picture round, but I have pushed aside the playbills for now, and this time we're going to look at design, particularly set design. So, I'm going to show you the sets for a musical. It might not be the opening set, it could be a set that's within the show somewhere, but a set that I think should give enough away for you to be able to guess. Okay, so there'll be 10 pictures of 10 different sets in theatre. You just need to tell me what show it is. So we'll put the pictures up nice and big for you so you can see them, and then at the end, when you are ready, you can pause as you go through, and then when you're done, we can move on to round number 4. Round number 4 is going to be a new round. So the rule of threes round is gone. Bye-bye, rule of threes. We've got a new round now, which I'm going to call the Les Miserables round. And all that means is I'm going to give you 10 shows, but the title's in a different language. You have to tell me what that show is. So as we are inspired by Les Miserables, this week we're going to do them all in French. So each show I will put up on the screen in writing, and you will hear wonderful Google Translate pronouncing it correctly, rather than leaving me to butcher another language. So, number 1, here it comes. And this is number 1.
Le fantôme de l'opéra.
What is that in English? What could it possibly be?
Le fantôme de l'opéra.
Okay, number 2, up it comes, and here we go.
Mauvais.
This is number 2.
Mauvais.
Number 3, here it comes.
Maison amusante.
What show is that for number 3?
Maison amusante.
Up comes number 4.
Le magicien d'eau.
What could number 4 be?
Le magicien d'eau.
Hopefully there's a nice mix in here. Some easy, some not so easy. Unless you speak French, then they're all easy. Number 5, here's number 5.
Fille de rêve. Fille de rêve.
Now I really like this next one, so here comes number 6. And let's hear it.
Jus de scarabée.
Well done if you get this.
Jus de scarabée.
Number 7. And here we go.
Les 5 dernières années.
This is number 7. What show is this in French?
Les 5 dernières années.
We've got a nice one here for number 8, so let's bring up number 8 and let's hear it.
Fixatif. Fixatif.
Number 9, here it is, and let's hear it.
Le petite boutique d'horreur.
That's a nice one, that, for number 9.
Le petite boutique d'horreur.
And finally, let's bring up number 10 and hear it.
Fièvre du samedi soir. Fièvre du samedi soir.
There are the 10 shows. Okay, so feel free to go back and have a listen to all of them and read of them all again. And make a guess again if you don't know. When you're ready, we'll move on to the final round. And here is our final round of the week. It is another audio round. People are loving the audio rounds. I keep getting asked for more. So here is another one. We've had quite a few different ones over the weeks. This one is going to be names. So what I'm going to give you are 10 clips, very short clips of characters saying, or singing I should say, names. Now what I want to know is who is singing the name or speaking the name. Who is the character that is giving this line? Okay, and you're going to hear each one twice. So, let's jump in. Number 1, here we go.
Wayne,
Alright,
Wayne,
that's number 1. We're going to number 2.
Christine, I love you.
We'll hear that again.
Christine, I love you.
And on to number 3.
Franklin Shepherd, just write 'em, care at any bank USA.
And again.
Franklin Shepherd, just write 'em, care at any bank USA.
On to number 4.
I dreamed it for you, Joe.
And again.
I dreamed it for you, Joe.
And number 5.
Marion.
And again.
Marion.
Number 6.
Neither you, Simon, nor the 50,000.
And again.
Neither you, Simon, nor the 50,000.
And here comes number 7.
Just you wait, Enriquez, just you wait,
And again.
just you wait, Enriquez, just you wait.
Okay, number 8.
Guido Contini,
Hard one.
Guido Contini,
Number 9.
Bruce Bogtrotter.
And again.
Bruce Bogtrotter.
And finally, number 10.
Rosemary.
And again.
Rosemary.
And there you go. There are your 10 little clips of names in musicals. You've got to tell me the character that sung or spoke those names. Okay. Ooh, go back, have another listen if you need to. Otherwise, that's it. We can move on to some answers. So here are some answers, and we will start with round number 1, the new lyricists round. Again, I hope you don't all hate me for this. It is, I think, a bit more difficult than the composers, because for some reason we talk about composers a lot more. But lyricists, man, I'm fighting for the power and the recognition of lyricists. So, let's get some answers. Number 1 was South Pacific. So you should have learnt by now that South Pacific was a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, and that we've also learned that Richard Rodgers was the composer in that duo, so therefore Oscar Hammerstein must be the lyricist. So your answer for number 1 is Oscar Hammerstein. If you just had Hammerstein, that's fine too, this time. Number 2 was Gypsy, and the lyrics were written by a young Stephen Sondheim. So Stephen Sondheim there, the answer for number 2. This is, of course, following on from him doing another very famous musical, which might come up in another week. And again, supported and recommended by his mentor, one above, Oscar Hammerstein. Show number 3 was Jesus Christ Superstar. For my money, probably Lloyd Webber's best score. But the lyrics for that show are written by Mr. Tim Rice. So Tim Rice there is the answer for number 3. Number 4, Crazy for You. Well, if you knew the composer was George Gershwin, then hopefully you will know that the lyrics for George's songs were written by his brother, Ira. So Ira Gershwin is the number there for the answer there for number 4. Ira Gershwin, number 4. Number 5, Betty Blue Eyes, by another duo, so Styles and Drew. Now we've covered Styles and Drew before, so hopefully you would have figured out that actually the lyrics here were written by Anthony Drew. So Anthony Drew is the answer there for number 5. Number 6, Parade. This is a bit of a sneaky one, because Parade, I think has come up before in Composers Round, written by Jason Robert Brown. Well, Jason Robert Brown always writes the book, the lyrics, and the music. So Jason Robert Brown is the answer here for number 6. Number 7, Into the Woods. Lyrics by the great James Lapine. So James Lapine there, a lot of collaborations with Sondheim, and this one in particular, Into the Woods. That's number 7. Number 8, another sneaky one, sneaky like a cat in the night. Who wrote the lyrics to that show? Well, it was actually T.S. Eliot, because it was the book of poems that were adapted for the show. So although there was a little shaping, and I think Trevor Nunn has a credit for a few lyrics that were tweaked, doesn't count, Trev, I'm sorry. The lyrics here were written by T.S. Eliot. That's number 8. Number 9, another big famous duo here who wrote Cabaret. So it was John Kander who wrote the music. So therefore, hopefully you got that Fred Ebb wrote the lyrics. The late great Fred Ebb. If you just said Ebb, I will let you have it this time round. First name, Fred, for next time. And number 10, Acorn Antiques, a show I absolutely love. And yet again, the great Victoria Wood, as an all-rounder, wrote the lyrics and the music, and the book. So Victoria Wood is the answer here for number 10, Acorn Antiques. How did you do? Let me know. I'd like to keep that round. I think pushing lyricists' names is important. We often forget. So the new round 1, I think, for the foreseeable will be lyricists. So brush up on your lyricists, people. Let's move on to some answers then for round number 2. So, some answers for round number 2, the lyrics round. So number 1, In Midnights in Cups of Coffee, of course from Rent. That's Rent for number 1. Number 2, You'll Reach Up and You'll Rise Again is from Dear Evan Hansen. So that's Dear Evan Hansen there for number 2. Number 3, I Stick With Real Things, Usually Facts and Figures. That's Dawn there singing in Waitress. So Waitress is the answer there for number 3. 4, But the Elephant is in the Room, the Troop is in Your Face. Hamilton. I think you could have been an educated guess there. That was Hamilton. Number 5, Those Guys Are French, These Fries Are French. David Asbeck Show. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, set on the French Riviera, of course. So Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, number 5. Number 6, She's Dizzy and She's Dreamy, Her Head's Up in the Foam. Again, easy guess there, has to be The Little Mermaid. It's The Little Mermaid for number 6. And number 7, I'm going to warm up for this one. Picture Me wearing the 2-3 like Jordan wore when he dunked from the free throw line. That can only be a Lin-Manuel Miranda lyric from Bring It On. So Bring It On there is the answer for number 7. Number 8, There's Never Been a Better Time to Start in Life. It Ain't Too Early and It Ain't Too Late. Lyric there by Oscar Hammerstein for Oklahoma. Well done if you got that. Oklahoma there for number 8. Number 9, wonderful lyrics. This song in particular, I think, is one of the best crafted songs. If she says your behaviour is heinous, kick her right in the Coriolanus. It is from Brush Up Your Shakespeare, from Kiss Me Kate. So that's Kiss Me Kate for number 9. Number 10. She's clever, she's smart, she reads music. She doesn't smoke or drink gin like I do. That is MC singing there from Cabaret, if you could see her through my eyes. Cabaret for number 10. And there are your 10 lyrics, all for round number 2. How did you do? Tally them up. And then we can move on to the answers for round number 3. Number 3 was again a picture round, but this week we were looking at set design. So, here are the 10 shows. I'll put one at a time up sort of here somewhere, and you just needed to tell me what show this design was from. So, number 1, that is Beetlejuice. That is the original Broadway production of Beetlejuice. Number 1. Number 2. Well done if you got this. This is Rent. Again, the original production for Rent. Number 3. Well done if you got this. If you can just make out the name of the shop on the front. It is that perfume shop. So that means it must be She Loves Me. So well done if you said She Loves Me for number 3. Number 4. Hopefully most, if not all of you got this. This is, of course, Wicked. Number 5. This is Matilda. So that's Matilda, number 5. Number 6. This is a box design for Hamilton. So Hamilton there is number 6. Number 7. 7 there is SpongeBob SquarePants, the musical. That's the original Broadway set. Quite an impressive set, this one. A lot of luminous stuff, and it just, the way they created the underworld, the undersea world, was incredible. Quite a feast for the eyes, that show. So that was SpongeBob SquarePants, the musical there. Next up, we've got Book of Mormon. That's Book of Mormon there. And next we have, that's Kinky Boots. That's Inside, Price and Sons. Well done if you got that. A bit trickier, I would think. But that is Kinky Boots. And finally, number 10 in this round, that is Dear Evan Hansen. I couldn't find an empty set for that one, but it's such an iconic set. The way that it incorporates social media and photos and that kind of, in a very sort of moving and almost digital space that it creates in that show is remarkable. But I couldn't find an empty one, so this has to do. But it is Dear Evan Hansen there for number 10. So tally them up. Well done if you got all of them. Let's move on then to the answers for round number 4. Here are the answers for the new round number 4, the Les Miserables round. So each week I'm going to pick a different language, and I'm going to pick some shows in that language. What is the title in English? What is the English title for the show? Simple as that. So this week was French, and this is where I'm going to butcher them. So number 1, Les Fantômes de l'Opéra. It can only be The Phantom of the Opera. Shock. So The Phantom of the Opera there for number 1. Number 2, Mauvais, I say with a slightly confused face, was Wicked. So Wicked for number 2. Number 3, Maison Amusante. Fun Home. Of course, Maison Amusante was Fun Home. It's number 3. Number 4. Now what could this one possibly be? Le Magicien d'Oz. That might just be The Wizard of Oz. So Wizard of Oz there for number 4. Number 5. Please, nobody judge me on these. I did terrible at French in school. I'm a little bit better at German, but French was definitely no good for me. So apologies. Number 5. Fil de Rêve. Fil de Rêve. Anyway, it's Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls there for number 5. Number 6 is my favourite one, actually. Jus de Scarabée. Jus de Scarabée. It's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice there for number 6. I know I'm going to get this one wrong, but number 7, Les 5 dernières années. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's the last 5 years. The last 5 years there is number 7. Well done if you got that. Number 8, another little nice one here. Fixatif. Fixatif? Hairspray. Hairspray for number 8. I love this one. Love the show. Love it in French. 9 is La Petite Boutique de Horreurs. La Petite Boutique de Horreurs. It is a little shop of horrors, and it's quite fun to say as well. So number 9, Little Shop of Horrors. And number 10, finally, Fever du Samedi Soir. Definitely got that wrong, but it's Saturday Night Fever. So number 10 was Saturday Night Fever. Wow. Well, I hope you enjoyed that round because it's staying, because I love it. Who knows what language it could be next week? Come back and find out. Okay, on to round 5 answers. So this was another audio round. These were the names, and you had to give me the characters. So, number 1. We'll play that again here.
Wayne,
And that was from the last 5 years, and the answer is Kathy. It was Kathy there for number 1. Number 2, let's hear it.
Christine, I love you.
That is from the Phantom of the Opera, and it is Raoul. That's Raoul singing. Number 3.
Franklin Shepherd, just write 'em, care at any bank USA.
From Merrily We Roll Along, that is Charlie Kringus. Charlie Kringus is the answer there for number 3. Number 4.
You Joe.
That is, of course, Mama Rose there from Gypsy. Number 5. The song comes up a lot, I know, but I love it. So here it is. And that is Harold Hill there from The Music Man. Number 6.
Simon, all the 50,000.
That is Jesus Christ singing. So Jesus there singing to Simon. Number 7.
And weekends, just you wait.
That is Eliza Doolittle from My Fair Lady. So Eliza Doolittle there. Oh, try it again. Eliza Doolittle there for number 7. Number 8.
Guido Contini.
Now this is a tough one. It's Louisa Contini from 9. Louisa Contini. Well done if you said that one. Number 9.
Bruce Bogtrotter.
That is the wonderful voice there of Miss Trunchbull in Matilda. And finally,
Rosemary.
that is the voice of Harry Potter, Mr. Daniel Radcliffe, in the Broadway revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Even Trying. And that is the character J. Pierpont Finch. J. Pierpont Finch is the answer for number 10. Well done if you got that. And there we go. We all survived some new rounds. I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you for coming back. There'll be a tie-break question if you need it just after this. But don't worry if you don't want to do that. That is fine. Thank you for coming back. Please keep sharing. It's lovely to hear your stories. I'm at DirectorDan86 on Twitter if you want to message me or write a comment. I love hearing about your scores and things that you like. It just keeps me egging me on to do more and more. So please keep coming back. Stay safe. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Tiebreaker question time. If you're playing in groups or against each other and want a tiebreaker to decide a real winner, then here it is. So the question is, Porgy and Bess is the most revived musical in Broadway history. How many times has it been revised on The Great White Way? So, how many times, not including the original, how many times has it been revised? So, get a number. Nearest one wins. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is 7 times it's been revised on Broadway. So that's 8 total productions on Broadway for Porgy and Bess. Hope that helped. Hope you got a winner. Well done. See you next time.
We're glad you came, but we have to shout adios. Au revoir, we will say,